For John Proctor, August 19th, 1692 began with a desire to pray. He asked Reverend Nicholas Noyes, who was at the jail before that day's scheduled executions, to pray with them, but the minister refused because John refused to lie and confess to a crime, witchcraft, that he had not committed. Noyes allowed John to go to his death without a final prayer. Welcome to Salem Witch Trials Daily. I'm Josh Hutchinson.
I'm Sarah Jack. First, let's look at the life and character of John Proctor. He was born in England around 1632 and immigrated to Massachusetts with his parents, settling in Ipswich. He married his first wife, Martha White, or Jackson, around 1652, and after her death, he married Elizabeth Thorndike in 1662. In 1674, he married Elizabeth Bassett. By 1692, John was approximately 60 years old, not the 30-something young farmer portrayed in Arthur Miller's The Crucible.
In 1666, John rented a large property known as the Downing Farm in Salem Farms, modern-day Peabody, which was outside the Salem Village parish line. Consequently, the family attended worship services in Salem town.
Historical records suggest John was a stern but forgiving man. While he threatened to beat his servant Mary Warren to stop her fits, he also forgave Giles Corey for allegedly setting fire to his house and stealing his wood, eventually making peace with him over drinks.
Elizabeth Proctor was John's third wife. She was the granddaughter of Anne Burt, a woman from Lynn who had been accused of witchcraft. This family association with witchcraft suspicion likely hung over Elizabeth.
In 1692, Elizabeth was accused by Ann Putnam Jr. and Mercy Lewis. During Elizabeth's examination on April 11, 1692, these afflicted girls claimed her specter was biting and choking them. Elizabeth famously testified, "I take God in heaven to be my witness, and I know nothing of it, no more than the child unborn."
John Proctor openly criticized the proceedings. When his servant Mary Warren began displaying symptoms of affliction, he put her to work at a spinning wheel and threatened to thrash the devil out of her. He reportedly stated that the afflicted girl should hang or they would hang everyone else.
John attended Elizabeth's examination on April 11th to defend her. During the proceedings, the accusers turned on him, claiming his specter was attacking them. He was arrested on the spot, becoming the first male suspect arrested in the Salem witch trials. And this scene, very dramatic, I'm sure, was nothing like what's portrayed in The Crucible about adultery. This was him defending his wife's witchcraft accusations.
While in prison, John Proctor wrote a petition to 5 leading ministers in Boston on July 23rd, 1692. He eloquently argued that the trials were unfair and compared the magistrates to the Spanish Inquisition. He specifically highlighted the torture of the sons of Martha Garrier and his own sons, who were all tied neck and heels to force confessions.
Neighbors still supported the Proctors. A petition signed by 32 neighbors was sent to Boston, and another signed by 20 was sent to the court, testifying to the Proctors' Christian life and willingness to help those in need.
Both John and Elizabeth were convicted. John was hanged on August 19th, 1692, alongside George Jacobs Sr., John Willard, Martha Carrier, and George Burroughs. Reports from Robert Califf state that John behaved with great dignity at the gallows, forgiving those who had acted against him.
Elizabeth survived because she was pregnant. She pleaded her belly, and a stay of execution was granted. She gave birth to a son named John in prison on January 27, 1693. Although a death warrant was signed for her execution, she received a reprieve from Governor Phipps.
The trials devastated the Proctor family. 3 of the Proctor's children, Benjamin, Sarah, and William, were also accused of witchcraft.
Sheriff George Corwin seized the family's goods, including food and cattle, leaving the children with nothing, despite the fact that John had not fled and his property should not have been legally forfeited in that manner.
While the bodies of the executed were thrown into a crevice at Proctor's Ledge, family tradition holds that John's body was secretly retrieved and buried on his own farm.
Because Elizabeth had been condemned, she was legally dead, had an attainder, and stripped of her property rights. She engaged in legal disputes with her stepchildren over her husband's estate and had to petition the court to recover her dower rights.
Elizabeth remarried a man named Daniel Richards in 1699. The family's attainder was reversed in 1711, and restitution was paid to the surviving family members in 1712. Contrary to the narrative in Arthur Miller's The Crucible, John Proctor was actually about 60 years old, not a young fellow. And Abigail Williams was 11 years old, not a teenager. And there was no affair recorded anywhere between John and Abigail Williams. They likely did not even have contact prior to the accusations because the Proctors went to a different church than Abigail Williams' uncle's church, the Salem Village Church, led by Samuel Parris. So they probably didn't even see each other on maybe ever.